Sorry it took long, mate. My fingers went through the toilet paper mid-wipe.
What? You were wiping your bum hole and you fingered yourself.
Yeah, it was just a tricky cleanup.
Oh, mate, that's mean. That reminds me, actually, I've got a story I need to tell you. I forgot to bring it up earlier. Um,
Go on.
Mate, it's so weird. So last night I went to bed about 11 o'clock, like I normally do. Took me a little while to drift off. I was just having a little scroll through TikTok. But I fell asleep, and about 2 or 3 in the morning, I woke up. There was like these bright lights shining through my bedroom window, and I could hear like this weird rustling noises from outside. So I pulled back the fucking curtain, mate, and I looked down, and there's 4, like, I shit you not, 4 lanky aliens just trying to fumble into my back door, like they fucking own the place. And I just froze on the spot. I was staring at them, absolutely mesmerised, thinking, holy shit, proof of alien life. But before I could react, they'd broken down my bedroom door. I was getting dragged out of my bedroom, stark bollock naked, by the way. I've got carpet burns on the end of my willy. They threw me into their spaceship, strapped me down, and the last thing I remember was them poking probably this 12-inch thing right into my tight little man. And then before I knew it, it was 6:30 in the morning and everything was fine.
What has that got to do with me accidentally fingering myself?
Well, that's the thing, mate, because when I woke up this morning, my fingers also stank of shit. For decades, strange lights have danced across our skies. Witnesses have sworn they saw otherworldly beings, and governments have either stayed silent or just flat out denied everything. From mass sightings, witnesses by the thousands, to secret crash sites shrouded in mystery, these are the stories that refuse to fade away. Tonight, me and Robbie are going to dive into the most famous and most chilling UFO and alien encounters ever reported. So, Robbie, the first cheeky little UFO slash alien case we will be talking about is the story of Betty and Barney Hill. One night on September 19th, 1961, Betty and Barney Hill were driving home to Portsmouth in New Hampshire after a lovely little holiday in Canada. As they travelled along a lonely stretch of highway in the White Mountains, they noticed a strange light in the sky. At first, they thought it might be a plane, but the light moved erratically, following them and growing closer. Concerned, Barney stopped the car to get a better look through a pair of binoculars and claimed to see a large, silent disc-shaped craft with windows and figures moving inside. Alarmed, the couple jumped back into the car and sped away. Soon after, they heard a series of beeping sounds and both began to feel a strange tingling sensation. The next thing they knew, they were 35 miles down the road with 2 hours of missing time and no memory of what happened. In the days that followed, the Hills experienced unusual symptoms. Betty had vivid recurring dreams about being led aboard a spacecraft examined by beings, whilst Barney developed strange circular marks on his car, unexplained scuffs on his shoes, and intense anxiety. 2 years later, under hypnosis conducted by psychiatrist Dr. Benjamin Simon, both Betty and Barney separately described being taken aboard a UFO, examined by humanoid beings, and shown a star map that Betty later claimed matched the Zeta Reticuli. The Hill case became the first widely publicised alien abduction story in the United States and remains one of the most famous UFO cases in history, inspiring books, documentaries, and endless debates.
So my thought, hear me out. So you're telling me, for example, you're driving down the road, you and your other half, just mind your own business. Who carries binoculars? That's my question.
Perverts, mate. I'm not being funny. Barney has got the fucking survival instincts of a Christmas tree. They believe they're being followed by lights in the sky, and the first thing he does is climb out of his car, whacks on the old binoculars. There's some aliens up there. Almost as if they wanted to be anally probed.
Yeah, it's like he's literally gone, cool, I'll have some of that.
You'll have some of that.
Me.
Have some of
that. Quick,
You just see the alien from the sky going, ooh, that's going straight in my basket.
So obviously, as you said, this is obviously the first case like ever of an abduction, and obviously, as you said, Barney's car, Barney's shoes, and then Betty had dreams and whatnot.
The thing is, it says, obviously, soon after they heard like a series of beeping sounds, and the worst thing, do you ever get it when you're standing in the line in McDonald's and then the beeping noises in McDonald's?
Yeah, it's trauma. Yeah,
mate, imagine being abducted by an alien and then the main symptom is just feeling like an underpaid McDonald's worker.
But to be fair, like, could they have just been daydreaming? I'm not saying obviously it didn't happen. You know, we've all done it. You know, when you're behind the wheel and then you have that sort of panic. You're like, how have I got here without even crashing? Like, it's the beeping, obviously, cars going past because they're daydreaming or what, or they.
But then the problem with that is they were daydreaming the exact same thing by being abducted by aliens, and that I'm assuming that wasn't such a huge thing back then. On the flip side of that, Betty and Barney, whilst they were driving, might have been doing some cheeky lines of the old in Devil's Dandruff on the dashboard. You could just picture it, just. There's a fucking alien up there! That would explain the missing time as well. They just got really high on acid, blacked out, woke up a few miles down the road. Do you reckon when they woke up they both had sore asses?
Well, I don't think there's a case. Obviously, there's no mention of them actually being probed. Is there?
Probably not. No. Maybe they woke up and both their fingers stank of shit. So the next one we've got is called the Belgian UFO Wave, which occurred between 1989 and 1990. Belgium was gripped by one of the most famous UFO waves in history. Thousands of witnesses, including police officers and military personnel, reported massive silent triangular craft hovering low in the sky with bright lights at each corner. The Belgian Air Force even scrambled fighter jets to intercept the objects, but the UFOs reportedly outmaneuvered them with impossible speeds and sharp turns. Despite extensive investigations, no official explanation was ever found, leaving the Belgian UFO wave a chilling mystery that still sparks debate today. If I saw that, I would be pretty miffed, to be fair.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it and think it just looks like a Dorito.
You know what, Robbie? I was thinking the exact same thing.
But no, it's interesting because, like you said, the fact that Belgium had fighter jets trying to intercept it, and then obviously it's gone like left, right, see you later, gone. Obviously, you must think as a pilot going, Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. Imagine if the UFO proper like mugged the fighter jets off and was just luring them towards like a nice, beautiful Belgian skyscraper, and at the last minute, whoosh, and the jet. So now we've got probably one of the most famous UFO cases, the Phoenix Lights. This happened on the 13th of March 1997 in Arizona, USA. Mainly Phoenix, but they were also seen in Nevada and Sonora in Mexico. That evening, between 7:30 and 10:30 p.m, thousands of people across the state reported two major events. In the first event, at 7:30 p.m, people began seeing a massive V-shaped formation of lights travelling silently across the sky. Witnesses said the craft was so big it blocked stars from view and moved slowly enough for many to observe it in detail. Sightings stretched from Henderson in Nevada down to
Tucson, Arizona.
Some described seeing a solid, dark structure behind the lights, suggesting it wasn't just flares or a separate aircraft. The second event was around 10 p.m, and a series of bright stationary lights appeared over Sierra Estrella mountain range south of Phoenix. These lights were videotaped from multiple locations, giving us the famous Phoenix Lights footage. The lights seemed to hover for several minutes before slowly fading out. The US Air Force claimed that the 10 p.m. lights were flares dropped during a training exercise by an A-10 Warthog aircraft at the Barry Goldwater Range. Officials dismissed the earlier V-shaped sightings as aircraft flying formation, but witnesses rejected this explanation, insisting what they saw was massive, silent, and unlike anything known. This case is considered one of the largest mass UFO sightings in modern history. To this day, no conclusive explanation exists for the 7:30 p.m. V-shaped craft, keeping the Phoenix lights alive in UFO lore. So I love the videos and the pictures of the Phoenix lights case.
This case is so like legendary. Like, you know how you look at things such as like football, you think of Messi, you think of like basketball, you think of Michael Jordan, but when you think of UFOs, you think of the Phoenix lights. Just because, obviously, everyone knows the video. It's literally dark at night, and literally just one by one, these lights just come on. And then you think, oh my God, Jesus Christ, he's returned.
Like, don't get me wrong, I am a believer in UFOs and aliens. It would be massively depressing if planet Earth was the only intelligent fucking life on this planet. And it's just the fact that thousands of people saw it, and the pictures and the footage, it's just like a perfect V.
Yeah, there's no way. Like, fair enough. Like, you see air shows and whatnot, and you see like the jets do like formation, all that. But there's no way, especially in 1997. Yeah, 1997. Yeah, there's no way in 1997 that you can have all these witnesses videoing, seeing the exact same thing. Pitch silent. I don't think they had the technology back then, even though it wasn't long ago in terms of years. There's no way they had that modern technology to have such a good jet or aircraft, to be that unique.
To be fair, in this day and age, some of the things that you can do with drones is absolutely amazing. I mean, but drones weren't. I don't even think drones really existed in 97. Not for public and domestic use, really. I mean, something like this could quite easily be hoaxed in this day and age, but I think 1997, the amount of people that saw it, this is proof aliens are real.
The fact that you had the government trying to hide it as well, like saying, nah, it was just flares. Oh no, it was just formation.
Mate,
Yes.
The government are gaslighting bitches. They're like, no, you didn't see nothing. You didn't see nothing. Our next famous UFO case is the Roswell UFO Incident, which was a crash, cover-up and conspiracies. In July 1947, something crashed on a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico, and the US military said it was a flying disc. However, the next day, they changed the story, claiming it was only a weather balloon. That quick reversal ignited decades of speculation. Witnesses spoke of strange metallic debris, mysterious bodies, and military secrecy. Over the years, Roswell became the centerpiece of UFO lore, seen by many as proof of an extraterrestrial cover-up, and by skeptics, a case of mistaken identity. Whether it was alien or earthly, the Roswell crash remains the most famous UFO mystery in history. The thing I like about the Roswell case, one thing I don't like actually, is the fact it's the fucking government gaslighting people again, man.
It's exactly with the previous case with the Phoenix one. Straight away they've gone, oh bloody hell, this is out of this world. No, but we can't tell the public that.
No, it's basically them going, oh, you know, yeah, it was a UFO, Jesus Christ. And then the next day the public are going, oh, so what's happening with those aliens and the crashed UFO? Like, what's going on with it? And the government just looks the public dead in the eye and goes, what are you talking about? Oh, it's just a balloon, mate. Yeah, just a big old balloon.
Obviously, like, question or not, what were, like, you know, those big balloons that people fly in, were they about in 1947?
Hot air balloons, yeah, mate.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know when it was invented, but
have you not seen The Wizard of Oz?
Oh yeah,
you silly cunt.
Yeah,
the wizard literally flies away in a hot air balloon. Fuck me, what if it was him that crashed?
I can't come back. I don't know how it works.
He was a short, weird-looking in that film as well, mate. And maybe that was the mysterious body that was pulled out of the wreck.
Yeah, it's like, this is alien-like. I'm just a character from a film.
It's not. It's just a few fucking munchkins he had as rent boys stored on his hot air balloon, which had just got crispy in the burn-up. That's another thing I like about this case, is the fact that they pulled out mysterious bodies.
Yeah, because I think to this day, obviously, I know now in recent years, like the government, especially in America, they've turned around and gone, oh, by the way, this happened, this was this, here's the evidence. But then I'm convinced they haven't shown all the evidence.
Well, moving on to that, Robbie, we can talk about the UFOs and aliens which were discussed in Congress. Because obviously in recent years, UFOs have taken stage on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers have held multiple hearings examining whether these mysterious sightings pose real threats and whether the government has been covering up what it knows. David Gross's testimony from July 2023 claimed that the US government ran a decades-long program to recover and reverse engineer crashed UFOs and even retrieved non-human biological remains from some of the incidents. He also testified that some people had been injured in attempts to conceal the information. The former head of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, Louis Elizondo, described a secretive arms race involving advanced UFO technologies. He urged Congress to create a whole-of-government strategy, improve protection for whistleblowers, and stop punishing those who report sightings. You know, the government have now... They're being grabbed by the short and curlies based on the fact that they're at the point now where they're sort of having to admit under oath. They're genuinely speaking about UFOs and aliens, like, potentially being real. There's that clip, isn't there, of that bloke saying, he's being questioned, and they're like, okay, so you pulled aliens out of a wreck, and he pretty much turns around and goes,
as I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
But this plot twist, this is when it's just fucking... just a massive anticlimax, and the non-human remains is just like a dead puppy that someone launched up into the air in a hot air balloon, maybe, Robbie, and it crashed, and it was just a dead little doggy. It's a non-human remain. It's not fucking E.T. Let's talk about Bob Lazar. Do you know who Bob Lazar is, Robbie?
No.
Well, he is the man who whistle-blew on Area 51. In 1989, physicist Bob Lazar came forward claiming he had worked at a secret site near Area 51 called S4, where the US government was reverse engineering alien spacecraft. Lazar described 9 flying saucers, advanced propulsion systems powered by a mysterious element called 115, and technology far beyond human capability. He alleged intense secrecy, compartmentalized projects, and even attempts to erase his academic and employment records. While skeptics question his background and evidence, Lazar's story ignited global interest in Area 51 and remains one of the most famous and controversial UFO claims of all time. Basically, this bloke supposedly worked at Area 51.
Yeah, and he's come out and gone.
He I think he went on the Joe Rogan show or something like that, and he basically said he whistle blew on them, sort of, so they can't kill him. If something happens to him now that he's whistleblown, it just makes it so obvious that he was telling the truth. But yeah, it's what he was saying. What he's basically saying is that Area 51 has got all of his spacecraft, and they're reverse engineering it just to... It's probably to do with weaponry. They're reverse engineering alien weapons.
Yeah.
It's very fucking creepy. Do you reckon this is... Do you remember a few years ago when everyone was going to storm Area 51 whilst Naruto running?
Yeah.
Imagine,
yeah,
imagine that looking out the window. You're doing your morning shift at Area 51. You're doing the security patrol. You look up and you see a load of sweaty anime kids just sprinting towards Area 51. I would have loved to go to work that morning if I worked at Area 51 because you know full well you'll have every bit of authority to cock your little gun, and as those little Naruto kids are running towards you, clear.
But yeah, going back to Bob Lazar to sort of conclude it, I'm doing my research on him, and he's still alive, so that says one thing. But
For
yeah,
now.
yeah, for now. But then for someone, so basically, what he was, he basically got Men in Black in regards to like pretty much having his whole identity wiped.
Well, they didn't. They tried disproving that he worked there supposedly.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you've got potentially a man who's telling the truth, saying there is stuff there.
The amount of gaslighting just in this video that we've spoken about, what the government has been doing, you'd believe anyone over them.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you seen that alien that looks like Dobby on the driveway? Can check this shit out, Robbie.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
It's mad. Like, I remember when this went viral on it's what is that? Look at him go. It's either an alien or fucking Ariana Grande. Obviously, we got loads of sort of videos of supposed UFOs, but this one here sort of hits home to me a little bit because I firmly believe that I have been a witness of a UFO. Last time I was in an aeroplane, so back in 2017, I had the window seat on my way back from Dubai.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, I've told you this 1,000 times, Robbie, but I looked out of the window and it was like a stereotypical UFO which you'd expect out of like a 1960s, 1970s horror film. You know, like very round, very light. I'll find a picture on Google, something very similar to that. It was amazing. It was literally just flew past my window. Tried telling my mum, and she told me to shut the fuck up.
With this little short clip though, it's like my question already is, if you pause at like literally 10 seconds, do you think that's the stingray that killed Steve Irwin?
He's gone to heaven now. He gained his wings.
It's 2006 in Pensacola, Florida. David Eckhart is asleep in his bedroom. A closed-circuit camera mounted above the bed captures the room bathed in a soft yellow light coming from an open door. Suddenly, the camera picks up something alarming. A short, skinny humanoid figure.
I love the zoom effect on that. Just. It's nice to see they had 4K back in 1947. Oh! That was an alien's cock. So, very, very quickly, when you go back and look at that footage, the alien's got 6 fucking fingers on its hand. So it's either a government leak, or it's a very, very good fake.
I mean, the footage looks real in my eyes, but then I'm one to be fooled.
Why would this be on YouTube?
Yeah.
So this one is from the Joe Rogan podcast, which supposedly shows the best UFO footage ever recorded.
There's a video taken by a DHS helicopter of a very interesting object. At first it appears to be perhaps a balloon, but then it does all sorts of weird stuff. It's called the Aguadilla Incident. Keep watching that, and I'll tell you a little story about this. They're looking at this through a form of night vision, but if you keep watching this, something interesting happens. You're going to see this thing enter the water here. There he goes, underwater.
So it's going high speed through the water.
Underwater. That's underwater. Then it breaks the surface of the water again, and then you'll see it split into two.
Oh.
That is mad. That's so fucking cool, man. I just want to
like. The thing is like, especially with the military, do you know what I mean? They've got all this advanced technology to even follow this object, and how can you not say that doesn't look real?
Yeah, that stuff like that is pretty convincing. But
they say aliens actually live in the ocean, because there's been so many cases of just like UFO just casually coming out of the water and just breaking the speed of light.
On that note, I would just like to end the video on one point. If aliens are real, they look like short, grey, horrible, bald bastards. They don't look like the giant flying vagina from the film Nope.